Good morning, you beautiful person. Good morning. Mm-mm. Good morning, you beautiful, fine, intelligent, brilliant friend of mine. Welcome. Happy Wednesday, November 14th. Hey, you're alive. If you're having a crappy day and you're looking for something to lift you up, remember you're alive, okay? A lot of people don't have that benefit. But let's take advantage of that, okay? Let's take advantage of being alive. It's a very good place to be. I can't think of any other place I would rather be right now than alive. I mean, physically, yeah, I'd love to be out on the beach in Venice, California, sipping my coffee because I know exactly where the Starbucks is by Venice Beach, California. But outside of that, I'm alive. Got 10 fingers, 10 toes. I've got my health. I've got a roof over my head and everything else is gravy. So if you're having a rough morning, think about that, please. Okay? Think about that. Something else that I want to remind you of is that oftentimes I talk about life and adventure and entrepreneurship and doing shit that's not comfortable. If you are afraid of doing something that's not comfortable, I just want you to realize number one, I have no special talent to do something wonderful. I have no special talent to live stream. I have no special talent to climb the mountain. It was a minor mountain, but to do the hiking and climbing I did this Saturday out of Medicine Park, Oklahoma. I am not particularly gifted when it comes to live streaming or hiking or lifting weights. A lot of the stuff I do in the world, I have no idea what I'm doing when I first step into it. Okay? No idea. But somehow, and I always encourage this of you, somehow I managed to activate the gene of I would rather do it than suffer the consequences of not doing it. Okay. Um, and I guess what I'm getting here is that you don't have to necessarily have to get good at a thing or get good at getting over fear or get good at taking risks. You just have to have the belief that there's something on the other side of it that's better than where you are now. And there is some giant, major, crappy milestone in your way or mountain of something in your way you have to get over. And once you start climbing that mountain, life gets a lot better. And you start enjoying the climb versus the goal. Okay? There are certain things I do, physically. You hear me talk about, going to the gym a lot because it's a big part of my life. Today is gym night. We're going to go to the gym and lift some heavy weights because I really enjoy that. My goal with being so fitness centric is to make sure that I think it's two or three reasons why I do it, even though I'm not that great at it. Number one is I want to be prepared for life outside of exercise. I want to make sure that I'm healthy and I can do things to help other people. And to do that, I have to be physically in decent shape, okay? I am a volunteering madman, meaning I volunteer for lots of things off the cuff, long-term planning kind of things. You all know I volunteered at school. I've been doing that for at least a decade, almost two now. But I want to be ready. The reason I do it, the reason I exercise so much is I just want to be ready for the non-exercise part of life, okay? And that came in handy yesterday. They cut down a tree in front of our house, and the guys were out there rolling up the big chunks of tree because for some reason they cut the tree off. They cut the big part of the tree down first and then cut the rest of it off down the ground. I don't know why. But at the end, there was the biggest chunk of the trunk that I didn't have to. I chose to. I was asked for help to roll that up on the trailer, and it took work. It took upper body, it took lower body, but I was ready. And so between that and the fact that I want to make sure that I can still use my body 10, 20, 30, 40 years from now, those are the reasons I do it. Those are the reasons why it's so important for me to do it. So when it comes to fearful things or wild things, or some of the things I'm going to suggest, some of the things that aren't necessarily that comfortable, I'm going to tell you, sometimes it never gets comfortable. But the wish and the want and the desire for the thing on the other side of whatever that roadblock is, whatever that milestone is, has to be greater. So if you're having problems, wanting to do something, wanting to start a new adventure, wanting to start a new business, wanting to do anything in life that makes you uncomfortable, you just may have to find the thing on the other side of that thing that motivates you, that draws you in, that makes you realize that the not doing for sure is definitely worse than the doing and possibly getting injured and possibly having some risk in your life. Okay. And that's how I get by most of the day, is realizing there are things I don't want to do sometimes. But, oh, you know what? I may not want to get on a particular sales call, although I do love sales calls. But you know what? Revenue and business sustainability and, supporting my family and growing my business to meet my goals is on the other side. So you know what? Shut up and get on the call. Anyways, that was on my mind this morning as I was thinking about a topic I want to talk about. But what's really on my mind is getting you more website traffic, okay? I got serious there for a little bit, but hopefully that'll help you out today, okay? Let me see. Let me make sure all my technology is up and running just fine. Got people watching on Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. Okay, things are in good shape. Happy November 13th. Okay, here it is, end of 2024, November 13th, 9 o'clock Central. Thanks for tuning in. You could be any place right now, and you chose to be here with me. And we're going to be getting nerdy and talking about website traffic. Okay, this is a huge issue for just about every client that comes into our agency. People will DM me on Facebook, or they'll text us, or they'll do all kinds of things, to solve various problems. But a lot of times, a good chunk of their problems are just traffic related. Okay, and so I want to talk about that a little bit. Okay, I want to go back to the basics today and talk about website traffic. And I was remembering the day the basics of a website traffic. Sometimes our team will get too involved in doing really fancy things to get traffic to a funnel, or to get website traffic, or to get social media traffic, or to do weird things to get YouTube traffic. Okay, and traffic is the lifeblood of the internet. Okay, and I think we've just become a little bit, I'm not going to say passive, but just not realizing how much it's important for clicks and eyeballs on the internet. That's the reason we see anything on the internet. That's the reason we see fake news. That's the reason that we see salacious headlines. That's the reason that we see headlines that have nothing to do with a story when it comes to any kind of internet video report or internet news article. Okay, traffic is life on the internet, and I'm not going to say there's an infinite amount of it, but there's a ton of it out there. And if you can harness just a little bit of that traffic, and by a little bit, I'm sure on the internet I have no idea the number. I probably should look it up before I started talking, but billions, if not trillions, of views that are made to be had. So that's what you have to figure out in this world of digital marketing is, how do you grab just a sliver of that attention and direct that stream your way, direct that river your way, okay? And that's really what digital marketing is. I mean, yeah, there's the subtle parts of it, the touchy-feely, the making someone feel good, the solving a problem, the thing I talked about the other day with Tony Robbins, where every action is to either gain pleasure or relieve some kind of pain. I mean, there's that part of it also. But if you can find a way to harness just a little bit of that internet traffic and route it your way to your e-commerce store, to your funnel, to your whatever, you are going to be in good shape. So let's talk about some really easy ways you can do that, okay? It's about a quarter after. We should be able to talk about for about 15 minutes, I think, on just some easy ways for you to get some website traffic, okay? So in my notes here, show notes I was writing for you. Let me pull those up. I managed to not get my notes up in time, but they are here. Let's go on the note file. Here we go. Show 171 notes. Getting more website traffic. That's what was on my mind today, is the getting of website traffic. Okay. Let's see what we were going to do here. Talk about that. There we go. Okay, I had to click on one more thing. Okay, so yeah, getting more website traffic. There are some really easy things you can do, and I really wanted to talk to you about those today. First of all, So I'm going to approach this from the fact that you have a brand new website, or we built a brand new website for a client, and the things that I would do to get traffic for that. Okay. So the first thing I would do is I would have some kind of plan to get new content on that website every single week. Okay. This is my first of about 5 points I want to cover with you. Um, the less often, so we're going to talk about organic traffic to begin with. Okay. Organic traffic, if you've never heard the phrase, organic traffic just means traffic that naturally comes to your website. Usually this is referred to as search engine optimization or SEO traffic or something like that. Just traffic that you happen to get that you weren't really looking for, but the internet gods blessed you with some traffic. Okay. That's organic traffic. That's SEO, and that's why SEO is so important. Organic traffic comes from a search engine or something else on the internet referring you because you because it believes you have the best information or the best solution for a problem. Okay. And what I mean here is that Google and the other search engines out there have crawled your website to find the content on there and to see if it's the best content for what someone is looking for. So Google has built its massive empire by just taking what you're typing all the time and comparing it to what's on billions of website pages and saying this is a good match. Okay. And that happens every single day. That happens one of the aliens, millions, billions, trillions, happens multiple times every single day. The way that works is your website has to have relevant information and it has to have recent information. Okay, the very basics of SEO are two words: relevancy and recency. Okay, write down SEO equals relevancy plus recency. If you're taking notes someplace, write down SEO is relevancy plus recency, meaning that your content on your website has to relate to what I'm searching for and it has to have been updated recently. Okay. And again, this is just the very basics. SEO is a deep, complicated topic, but here are the very, very basics. Okay. Which means if you pay attention to the rule I just said, on any given two websites, the one that will rank higher is the one that has the more relevant information and the more recent information. Meaning, and recency is the really important one there, meaning if two websites have the same information and have the same relevancy, the one that has been updated more recently is the one that will get attention. And this is why you see people um, in the world of content management or content creation. Okay, the reason that the world of content management or content creation is so good is it's you creating something that will basically force a website like a Google or an Instagram or a YouTube to take that stream of traffic, the billions and billions of eyeballs it gets probably an hour, and direct it that way. Okay. That's all content creation is. Ooh, I created a new blog post. Google's going to, index your site in a couple of weeks and then direct some of that traffic your way. And while it's relevant, okay, you may not get a million hits, but you get some hits. And then Google, assuming your content matches somebody else's, if somebody else publishes a new piece of content, a video or a Instagram or a blog post, excuse me, it's going to direct some of the traffic that way. That's what Google's doing all day long. It's just looking at websites and just directing the stream of eyeballs someplace. So my point being is you need to have a content strategy that forces you to update your website every week, if not more frequently. Okay. It was without a doubt websites that are updated more frequently get more organic website traffic. Okay. And obviously, if you want to talk about how to do this, you can DM me on social media or text our office 405-217-4752. But without a doubt, if you want more website traffic, you yourself have to create more content. And and there are ways to do this to make it so it's not so painful. Okay, not everybody wants to fire up a microphone like I do multiple times a week and talkity talk. Okay, but there are some ways to do this where you can make videos and you can repurpose the content. Okay, so if you are lacking in website traffic, get a blog up, and you don't have a lot of money, okay? And this is, by the way, the route I would go, again, on the organic side, which means this is going to be favorable for those of you who don't get a lot of website traffic, okay? I always talk about the free stuff first, and then I go into the paid stuff, okay? And so for you, creating a new blog post or a new video to update your website, um, today, that's free. That's pretty inexpensive. Okay, you can do that without putting any money towards any kind of ad budget. Okay, so please find a way to do that. New content every single week. If you suck at typing like I do, then make a video and get that video transcribed to words, and then edit that, or have a professional editor edit that. Okay. Um, and in addition to that, make sure that you generate content on other platforms that then pushes people to your website. And if you're an experienced website marketing person like I am, and you're watching this, you may think, oh, these are the basics. Why are you telling people this stuff, Patrick? Everyone knows this stuff. No, everyone does not know this stuff. Sometimes when I'm talking to a group of people that about some really advanced tactics, I realized that I didn't cover the basics. And so today we're going back to the basics. And the basics are regular content on your website. In my opinion, regular content on your website and regular content on YouTube would be my primary two free traffic channels, okay? And that's basically kind of, I'm giving you like my quote unquote traffic secret, okay? It's new video content that can be repurposed into every single thing out there, okay? So that is how you get some free traffic. Now, what are some other ways you can get some free traffic? Again, we are just covering the very basics of internet marketing, okay, right here. Um, you should, if you don't have the mindset of paid traffic, or the fact that you will pay for traffic someday, I would encourage you to adjust that mindset, okay? You need to have paid traffic in the mix of your traffic sources, okay? I thought it was a good idea 10, 15 years ago. And every single day I'm on the internet, every single day we onboard a new client, every single day we do anything like that, I'm realizing it is incredibly, incredibly important. As you may or may not know, I did an experiment a while back. An experiment, I must say, that's still running, where I'm throwing, I think the budget right now is $10 a day to video traffic, okay? And it's amazing how much of a difference that has made in my organic traffic, how much a difference it's made in growing my YouTube channel, and how much it's a difference it's made in me getting sales, okay? Paid traffic is such a gasoline on any good content that it's something you should just plan on doing. You plan on getting it in your budget as soon as possible, okay? And don't make it the lowest priority item. And also remember that it doesn't have to be terribly expensive. The current experiment I'm running started at $5 a day. Now I'm up to $10 a day for a certain experiment that I'm running. And what's that getting me? More website traffic, more YouTube subscribers, and more money. Okay? Those are the names of the game to me. Okay? So the things I'm going to talk about right now are eventually going to ease you into the paid traffic world. Okay? Number one, if you don't have some kind of analytics software on your website, please get that also. And by analytics, the industry standard, the free one, is Google Analytics 4. Okay? Obviously, you're going to have that on your website. However, if you're a non-nerd, then the data out of Google Analytics 4 isn't very useful for you. So then you need to look at some other really simple like web analytics tool, like what Microsoft has, Microsoft Clarity, and there's one called Matomo, which reminds me of the old Google Analytics. And if you're someone who just loves numbers and loves reports, please get, at least 2 web analytics packages on your website to see the results of all the stuff I'm talking about. Okay, so that's my number 2 recommendation for more traffic. And that may not necessarily bring you more traffic, but it allows you to hyper analyze the traffic you have, which is very, very important. Okay. In preparation for paid traffic, something else I would do is I would please make sure to get even though if you don't like these platforms, okay, from a social perspective, get a Google Pixel on your website and a Facebook Pixel on your website as soon as possible, okay? Pixel, what is that, Patrick? Isn't a pixel just a little dot on a screen? Pixel is a fancy word that us marketing people use to indicate a three or four um, three or four lines of code um, that are running in the header of your website that basically help a platform remember who was on your website. Hey, Jamie, let me see. Goodness, I don't think I've seen you on the show before, Jamie. Man, we chat all the time online, but I don't think I've seen you actually on here. Everyone, welcome to my writer slash poetry friend, Jamie. When you say regular, do you mean on a regular day of the week or a goal like 15 posts a month? You know what? Regular is just that. I don't have a particular recommendation number wise because Google doesn't tell us, what the particular recommendation is. I will tell you that Google crawls your website probably once every 2 to 3 weeks, max at most. So to me, if you're just starting off, regular is going to be once a week. Okay, so 4 times a month. I'm a little bit more of a heavy content creator, Jamie. So I'd say, 2 to 3 times a week is not a bad thing to do, but that's someone who's really, really aggressive. There are times when I can't kind of keep up with that volume, and that's also a hard pace to keep up. It's a hard pace to keep up if you're not writing or recording on a regular basis. 2 to 3 times a week is hard. I know, Jamie, you're constantly writing, so it's not a problem for you. So, there's no hard and fast rule about regular, but what I want it so every single time Google comes to your website and crawls it, it looks at the previous crawl, compares it to the current crawl, and go, oh, that's different. Which reminds me, something I totally skipped over. Totally skipped over. Please make sure your website is listed in Google Search Console. As you know, Google gives us a lot of free tools when it comes to seeing traffic and managing traffic. One of them is Google Search Console. And Google Search Console is verifying, number one, that you own a particular website. So Google gives you a little bit of street credibility there. But also, it's you submitting your website to Google in a certain format, something called using a sitemap. That way, Google knows exactly what all the pages are on your website. And in return, Google gives you some good reports in Google Search Console that tells you what people are searching for organically on their website to find you. So one of the more valuable tools that Google gives us for free is Google Search Console. As a matter of fact, I would rank this probably towards the top of the first things you need to do in a new website is to verify your website in Google Search Console. And then what happens, which is the best part, is Google will give you a list of keywords and which page they found in your website as a result of your keywords. So basically, let's say Patrick Allman sells blue widgets. If I have a bluewidget.com website and I submit that to Google Search Console, Google says, "Oh, you own this. Cool. I'll give you some cool data on it." Google will tell me which keyword phrases. So the which 1, 2, 3, 4 keyword phrases brought people to your website, what the ranking was for that, and what page they were brought to. So Google will actually give you the information. If you want to be known for a particular topic, or you want to rank for a particular topic, by the way, and you hire an SEO person, this is what an SEO person is doing. You may say, I want to rank for blue widgets in Oklahoma City. That means I want, whenever anyone goes to Google and types something, I want to buy a blue widget in Oklahoma City, my site comes up towards the top, okay? And really, that's what SEO is in a nutshell. So, you want to make sure, like I said, you get signed up with Google Search Console, and just about everything I'm mentioning here, Google-wise, is going to be free. Okay, obviously Google paid ads aren't free. Let me see. Oh, goodness gracious, Jamie, I thought for sure you would know all about this stuff. You're a pro. So yeah, and just so you know, it's not counsel. I'm probably dribbling here with my words. It's not counsel. It's console. CONSOLE. Google Search Console. Okay. Get signed up for that and Google Analytics on your website. And I'm telling you, basically, if you came on board as a paid client, anybody, to our agency, these are some of the first things we do. Do you have this on your website? Do you have this? Do you have this? If not, then those are our very first things. Especially from an agency point of view, because I like knowing whether or not the work I'm doing is improving someone's traffic. And the only way I know is to know what the traffic was when I started, and to know what the traffic is later. So if you run an agency like me, or you do work for anybody else, one of the ways we measure and quantify our skills and how someone's getting value out of us is based on their website traffic. Okay. And I want to know what your website traffic was day one, so we know that after day 90, when you hired us, that we did some work and it applied. So Google Search Console on your website for free. But back from the sidebar, the get the code on your website for the Google Pixel and the Facebook Pixel. Okay, if you want to get really fancy, maybe throw in ad roll, outbrain, some of there's a lot of pixels out there, and oftentimes a heavy website traffic, a website that has heavy traffic, excuse me, will have several pixels on there. At some point in time, on my website, I had like 5 or 6 pixels. I had Google, Facebook, Outbrain, ad roll, and there are some others out there. And the reason you want these pixels on your website is because later, when you get into the paid traffic world, you're going to want to bring people back to your website. Now, has there been a lot of doom and gloom about pixels over the recent years and how they're going to go away and how we can't use them anymore? Yes, there has been, but I also know some of the organizations that we're talking about basically going to a cookieless world or a pixel-less world. They've stopped that traffic. Okay, they've stopped that discussion. I think cookies were due to be gone here in like the next 24 months. And I think that's been pushed out or it's been downplayed. Um, but still, it's a good idea to have these, and that's what these pixel blocks of pixel code do on your website. Is they put a cookie on your machine, which is not a bad thing. Okay, don't be afraid of the cookies. We're all Cookie Monster friendly here. They put cookies on your machine, and they help the platform track who's been there. So later, when you do get into paid traffic, you can easily send ads to those people. Okay, so when I say something like this on stage when I'm speaking, I usually get some pushback about how, oh, I don't want, I don't like Google, I don't like Facebook, I don't want to use them. Well, you know what? You can choose to do that and be missing valuable traffic, or you can choose to take Uncle Patrick's advice. Okay, it's up to you. My take on some of the things I don't like to do on the internet is I need them for traffic. And as long as I'm not spending time on them, which I obviously do spend plenty of time on Facebook and Google, as long as they are a good traffic source, you need to be using them. Okay, so please make sure you get these pixels on your site. If you need any help, obviously you can reach out to us. Our number's at the bottom of the screen, or you can DM me any place on social media. It's not like I'm hard to find on the internet, and we can help you get that code on there. Okay. What else was on my mind when it came to? Oh, okay. So the you're going to have the pixels. You're going to get verified in Google Search Console. You're going to create content on a regular basis. You're going to get some kind of analytics installed on your website to see your traffic. Then what happens? Um, from there are some things you can do if you have big traffic sources external to your website. An email list. Whenever someone hires us and they have a big email list, that's a gold mine of information there. Because number one, obviously we can set them up in our Playmakers AI platform and help them email those people and market to them on a regular basis. But email lists can be uploaded to Google and to Facebook and use to find those people on your email list. Okay. And now I'm getting into like some really cool level 2 or 3 stuff called retargeting. But wouldn't it be great that if when somebody came to your website and they filled out a form and they submitted that form, not only could you email them, but you could also display an ad to them when they're at CNN.com. Display an ad to them when they're at Fox News or ESPN or Drudge Report or your local news station, your Channel 9. Wouldn't that be cool if you could follow someone around the internet? Okay, that in the world of big internet traffic, that is just a default behavior these days. Okay, again, it's all about eyeballs, it's all about impressions. Some of the big brands that have been around a long time do everything they can to make sure they have multiple impressions on your brain every single day. I mean, don't think that the Coca-Colas of the world and the Pepsis of the world and the Home Depots and the McDonald's and the CNNs, don't think these people aren't doing something every single day to have an impression on your eyeball, okay? They're 100% doing it. And you know what? They're just using the same tools I'm telling you about. And one of them is the email address. If you can get someone to get on your email list, then you can, like I said, you can do what's called creating an audience on a platform. Both Google and Facebook allow this, and there's some other platforms, but I'm focusing on the big ones. If you give me a list of 100 people, or 1,000 people, or 100,000 people, I can feed those I can feed those into the Googles of the world, excuse me, into the Facebooks of the world. Facebook will match up that email address with a Facebook account and allow me to display a Facebook ad to you. Okay? Really simple stuff. Every time I tell someone something about this, they're like, oh, I should have been doing this years ago. Yes, you should have. Okay? And what's even better is you can do this like real time. And this is a very advanced tactic that we set up for people here at Stop Doing Nothing Media. Is you can make it so when someone comes on your email list, obviously you're going to email them right away, but we can immediately, like we're talking within seconds, add them to a Facebook audience. And then you can have a ongoing Facebook campaign ad running that that displays ads to these people on your list. So as soon as someone opts into your email list, assuming all the other technology stuff's place, 5, 10 minutes later, an hour later, they could be seeing an ad on your website. Okay, they can see it from the pixel code, they can see it from the email address. Okay, so these are just the very basics of website traffic that I want to make sure you're doing. Okay, my goal today was not to have a long show. My goal today was just to get back to the basics of internet marketing, of traffic. Content is traffic on the internet. New YouTube videos are traffic on the internet. New blog posts, new poems, new paintings, new images. Everything that on the internet is an original creation of yours or somebody else is content on the internet, and you should be creating this on a regular basis. Okay, um, the one of the big things that happens in the world of AI right now is using AI for creating content. Okay, when you can be really lazy. Please do not do this. Please do not do this. But you can be really lazy, and you could go to Claude right now or Chat GPT-4 and have it write a blog post for you. Okay, you really could. And you could do the game of going in there every single day, having it generate a fake image to go with your fake blog post and publish that every single day. Okay, they say that Google is going to penalize AI traffic, but the challenge is Google doesn't know when something is AI or when something isn't AI. It may be able to pick up some markers, but there's no way to tell when a machine is artificially generating text that is different than a human artificially generating text. Okay, and people may argue against me. People may say I'm wrong. In my opinion, a machine can try and guess, but a machine may not know. So I would rather you didn't do that, but you really could. But either way, do what I do. Fire up a camera, press record, and start talking, okay? Or if you're a writer, get into a nice quiet room, get a cup of coffee, start banging on the keyboard and cranking things and getting things done, okay? So this has just been the very basics again of running traffic and a reminder of just doing the basics before you get onto the really fancy stuff. I could get into paid traffic. We run that for clients. We run paid ads on Facebook and Google all the time. But I just wanted to remind you about the basics and you getting back to the basics. And if you're somebody who is in the world of helping other people market like we are, make sure you start with the basics before you get into the really fancy schmancy stuff, okay? We know there's some really cool fancy things you can do out there when it comes to internet marketing, but sometimes people just need the basics. Work on the basics, do amazing things on the basics, and you'll really help your clients out, okay? Oh, goodness gracious, Jamie, I didn't even see that you were over here on Instagram. Okay, I got to pay attention to comments on all the platforms. Anyways, those are my easy traffic tips for the day. If you haven't done so yet, please make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Subscribing, then click the little bell at the bottom to get notified so you can know when I publish new content myself and when I go live like this, which right now is 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. Central. We talk until the coffee cup's empty. the coffee's cup is empty. Make sure you go out there today and generate some new content on your website, generate some traffic. And as always, if you need help with that, reach out to your Uncle Patrick. Text us at 405-217-4752, and we will get you hooked up. Outside of that, have a great, great day. Make sure you get out and do something physical, okay? I love every single one of you, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. I'll see you on the next live stream.